Hi, I'm making this sequel to the video I made about right-wing extremists. Now, I believe this is very relevant, even though a lot of you might disagree. And that is because the people like the RVB streamlined their ideologies based around misinterpretations of Siener van Rensburg, who was an actual Boere prophet who helped the Boere defeat the English at the Boer War, the Anglo-Boer War. And the thing is, a lot of people took his prophecy so seriously because literally each and every one of them came true. Siener van Rensburg was seen like a Ahithophel of the Bible, who was a prophet under David, who literally every word he spoke was like the oracles of God. If he said it, it is going to happen. But there's a lot of ambitious Christians who took his, and preachers even, who took his Siener van Rensburg's visions and try to interpret them through their own understanding. And what happened is there are certain events which they interpreted through their human understanding and connected them with possible future events that they could predetermine out of their own human fallen understanding. And this led to actual misunderstandings of what God was actually showing Siener van Rensburg. I'm not an in-depth student of his prophecies. I'm aware of some of them, and even some of them which literally came true. Now, some of you might not even know it, but Siener van Rensburg actually prophesied that the Springboks would win the 2019 World Cup. That is a fact, my friend. And if you don't believe me, I will actually provide you with links in a follow-up video. So, Siener van Rensburg's visions was literally seen as oracles of God. He was a Christian man, a devout child of God. He had integrity. He actually saved the Boer nation of the Afrikaner from total annihilation, and he actually turned the whole Anglo-Boer War on its head. But what has been happening the last 100 years is people have taken these visions, and some of them were ones that was not actually interpreted by Siener van Rensburg himself. So some of them were laid open to free interpretation. Nobody actually knew what some of them meant because Siener did not interpret them at all. And these are actually meant to be seen as they play out in our history. Some of them has been fulfilled already, many of it, and lots of it will still be fulfilled. But the RBF's belief in these wrong interpretations was the main proponent for some of their acts of terror on civil society. And a lot of well-meaning Christians did not even realize this. And a lot of white Afrikaner people did not even realize that this was the drive for much of the Afrikaners' apprehension and fear of black people because of interpretations such as die Nag van die Lang Messe. If I say it in English, it's the Night of the Long Knives, in which the person who interpreted believed that black people will, after Nelson Mandela's death, come out in a mass action to in this sort of protest, and start killing white people left, right, and center while they are still asleep in their beds, and invade their homes and basically kill whoever they can. And this is what I believe is the problem, is that this apprehension of these interpretations by well-meaning Christians, good people, that have actually been misguided and misled by their own preconceived notions of what these interpretations actually meant. Nobody still knows what some of them mean. And that has actually been driving the apprehension and the fear of black people in the heart of the Afrikaner people, the general population. For some, this has actually meant that a lot of them did not actually want anything to do with a black person, because it is a communal understanding amongst Afrikaners that black people is out to get them. Black people are out to get revenge for apartheid, and they are just angry people. You'll be surprised that a lot of them is very forgiving. Those who are in the mainstream media propagating hate are not representative of the majority of black people in South Africa. And I want to tell this to you, that whatever they tell you in the news is not actually true. There's a bigger threat at play here, and this is the fact that there's a global one world order that is actually trying to drive a wedge between the black and the white people. And they use half-truths and especially racial issues to drive races against each other. Because as long as we are divided, we cannot work together. And then they can work in the background to do whatever it is that they want to do. And I believe that extreme right-wing groups was working in the public's eye to only as a tool to help drive this wedge even further and further apart. Because they create an image of white people that they are also the same way, that white people are exactly the same way in black people's eyes, which the majority of white people is also not true of. I know for a fact that the majority of white people also actually want to work together with the black people. So we need to really rethink our ideas and the way we've been brought up to believe. And that is, most of what I'm telling you is actually already said. I've just not been able to word it myself as well as he has before. But you can go to Double Dez's website. I'll put it also in the link below. He's speaking on the very things that I am actually talking to you about. He is driving a movement that allows the citizenry to take control back into their own hands. Which part of his movement is the direct elections campaign, which he is traveling all over South Africa to promote. And this is basically not to get you out of your party, but to actually elect your government representatives or president or whoever it is, or MP if it may be, to elect them directly. That government officials cannot be voted in by an internal party system, such as what has been happening in the ANC as of lately. The Electoral Commission is basically a system which is exploiting the people of this country, where you basically vote for a party, but they decide who gets to represent the people. And this actually creates a vacuum between the citizen and the government party that they have elected, because this makes that party unaccountable. If the person that they are given, or who they claim represents the people and the people's interests, such as Cyril Ramaphosa, if they don't like him and a citizen starts to protest against him, just as they did with Jacob Zuma, they create huge protests and they say Zuma must fall or Cyril must fall, whoever must fall. And all they do is they just switch presidents and they put in a new president. Not necessarily the one that people have elected. They do this all the time to get the people to be quiet. And then people are happy for another 4 years and the cycle just continues and continues and continues because they never really have a specific entity or a person to blame. And that is the reason why people have not been understanding, is that it is not the person that has failed them, it is their party that has failed them. And they continue to vote for the party, but they cannot vote for the president. They cannot vote for the MPs that's supposed to represent them in the government. And we're a little bit behind this in America, because I know a lot of you are divided about Donald Trump, but the fact is that he was elected by the people of America. Now, the easy excuse that a lot of people are using is that Donald Trump was not elected by the people. He's not our president. The Russians hacked the voting system and they helped him to vote. They stole the votes. They talk about the Russiagate. That never happened, my friends. Donald Trump was elected by the American people, and that is the very system in South Africa that we need as a people to represent us in the government, because in that way the government can be closely held accountable for their actions. So if they don't perform in government and do their duties as a president, they can be voted against the next elections. And that is what I want to really bring across. You cannot really vote a party out that puts a person at its front who pretends to be your friend, who pretends to be your ally, because you're made to believe that you are voting for the person and then you're actually ending up voting for the party. And that party it's all smoke and mirrors. That person is not the one that is in control. That person is not even able to make decisions on your behalf. That person is not even able to represent you in the government or even fight for your causes. And that is how it is across the whole spectrum of government at this very moment. We have a fraudulent and a failed government election system that keeps the wrong people in power. And Double O Des actually provides the solution for this. This is not about a movement of one particular party. You can actually stay with your party, but choose the very people that is supposed to represent you, and you are able to hold them accountable, because if they don't perform for the next 4 years or whatever amount of time they are in charge of their district or whatever place they are placed in charge of or position of authority, they can be voted against the next time. So please subscribe to Double O Des's YouTube account. This is really a powerful movement. I don't care if he gets more likes than I do. I am serving a purpose here, to get you to make a difference. And this is a movement that will actually unify South Africa, because in spite of our differences, we can do this thing together and make a better future for our children and our children's children in the future. I don't know how long this is going to take, but it is going to work. I guarantee it to you. It can work. It can work, because once we start working together in unity and start focusing on the solutions rather than the problems, I said it in the previous video, I'm not concerned about people that are focusing on blaming this one and blaming the other one. Because if you are focused continually on the ills and the wrongs of another culture, just because of what their government is doing, I'm telling you, you are really a part of the problem, and you are fueling this hatred and this division that has been going on in this country for so long. You are helping the enemy win. And the enemy is not the person of the other color. Black people are intelligent people. I'm telling this to you. A lot of you don't know this, and a lot of people associate these groups of people with low IQ, whatever. It is not true. It is not true at all. And it's only what the media and the Twitterati and all those people want you to believe. It is absolutely absurd what's going on in this country. I look, for example, at people in the company I work for, and I see very intelligent black people that I actually, my mouth hangs open when I listen to them talk. They are geniuses. They are people of high stature, and I have great respect for them. I even see the security guards, the way they conduct themselves. The more I get to do with black people, the more interested I get in working alongside with them, because they are amazing people. That is all I can tell you. They are no different than us. There is no superiority in the white person, because we are all created equal. We are all created in the image of God. And that is all I gotta say. So start to learn to love. Open your heart and deal with that hatred in your heart. Deal with that insecurities that you have in yourself, and fears that you have towards other people, and start to love. There's really a world out there that we need to explore, and the greatest things that you can imagine is still on the horizon for us South Africans. It is really, really possible to make a change, and it is within our grasp right now. We never knew these things before. Because of geography and because of policies in this country. We've been divided for so long. We need to stop this division at its tracks. And when we come up with real tangible solutions, which is what we all want, we can really change the political landscape and destroy the destructive forces of darkness that is busy tearing us apart. COVID-19 is not our biggest problem. It is the way we've been doing things and allowing things to happen, and not realizing we have the ability and the power to change things. We are more powerful than we realize. And God willing, we are going to do that. We are really going to make a change in this nation. So, if you like what you've heard, please subscribe, but please go to Double Dez's website. This is really something that you are going to find interesting, and it'll give you a broader understanding of what I'm trying to tell you right now. It is, I cannot explain it yet so good. I have to make a couple of videos to actually get it across to you. It's a difficult task to explain this. But I'm doing this because I love people. I love you, and I love the people that we can reach through this movement. I'm a Christian myself, and I feel that I've been isolating myself for a very, very long time. I wanna become involved in things that really matter. I've never been so involved in my life before as I am right now. I've always been this guy that was always just a student, just observing life, just checking things out. I didn't really participate in sport that much. I did karate when I was a young man, but that was pretty much a one-man show. Sport, you can do it by yourself. There's no real teamwork in karate at all. It's all self-defense, fighting to protect your own life. But I didn't really learn the values that makes me care about other people as much as I do right now. So I want to encourage you to become part of this movement. Make a difference. You can, even if you just spread awareness about this. You don't have to necessarily donate money if you cannot. You can make a difference by just spreading awareness and getting this news out there, because the power is coming back to the people. This illusion that a person like Nelson Mandela can give power back to the people. They always scream Amandla at the rallies, but that is not what is happening. They are, instead of giving the power back to the people, they are taking it away. And that is because of the way that presidents and leaders get elected. And this has got to change. So I bless you, and God keep you safe. And I pray only the best for you in your future.